It's Johnny Jones, and I'm here at home. And today we are reviewing this realistic Navaho Trc-459 sideband and AM radio. This is an interesting radio. I've never seen anything like this. Not that I'm some sort of CB guru or something, but I've never actually seen this model before. I ran across this in Canada, and I just had to see what it was about. And these are very expensive. Very expensive. I don't know what they released as the MSRP, but even today they are pretty damn expensive. So this video might be a little long because I'm going to try to go through a bunch of the features. Now, some of this stuff, especially with the clock, I haven't figured out myself because, quite frankly, I'm not going to use the clock. I'm probably not even going to use the radio. I'm going to sell it. But I needed to make sure if it was working or not. So I did set the clock and some stuff like that. But there's some extra buttons over here we're going to have to review and look at and figure out what's the deal with them. First, let's start off with, we have a phono plug and a 6-pin mic connector for a microphone. In the back, there is an SWR calibration knob, a place where you can plug this into DC with one of those CB radio plugs, and of course an AC plug, and the external speaker and PA and all that, and the other stuff I said. Anyways, so in the front, this is all controlled by a button pad over here, the controls for the channels, which may turn some people off, but with me, I'm not going to keep it, so it doesn't really matter. But if your preference is that you'd rather have a knob to change channels, then you might not want to have this one. But I will say that having a knob for this radio would actually kind of kill it a little bit, because I'm going to show you the scan function in a minute. You'll understand why having that little number pad over there is pretty useful. So first off, we do have a clock. And you can set, and you can actually set it for seconds as well. I don't know what the point of that would be, but you can do an auto set, which I'm not quite sure of these. I just went to time set and set it to the time. So you do that with these buttons here, fast and slow. Actually, you have to go, yeah, it should work. Yes, set time right there. Slow, fast. Yeah. Now, you can put it to run, and that should work. Let's see, what do we have here? It's a little bit dusty, a little bit crusty. In fact, want to know a secret? When I got this thing, it had a cat turd stuck to the bottom of it. Yeah, I got this in the mail, by the way. Yeah, never do that to somebody. Okay, check your radios. Might have been squirrel shit. I don't fucking know. Anyways, so here's the power button. We all know what that does, but in just case, let's check it out. Oh God, I didn't. Oh, that I thought that was gonna power the whole earth. Nope, just turned on a radio. Okay, let me turn this off so you can just hear what it sounds like naturally. So let's take all these down really quick so we can mess with them later. This is the 24-hour button here. Let me see if I can get a better view of it, and that changes it to military time, the clock, auto set. That has something to do with the clock, and I'm not quite sure how it auto sets, but who knows. Let's see, we know what the power button does. SWR calibration right there, so that if you key up, it will show you your SWR, and because I'm talking to the mic, it's changing, but it's about a 1.2, 1.3. I had to set that in the back, by the way. Let's see, noise blanker, we will get to that one. Let's go ahead and do it now. Let's go ahead and put our, we shouldn't have put our clarifier down here. RF gain, we'll keep it at 10. Let's hear all the noise in the world. And actually, let's not. I have something interesting to show you here in a minute. So let's take the volume up some. That's what I want to talk to you about. So, I live next to a cell tower, and I have this weird noise coming through all the time. My RF gain is pretty much all the way down. So, in the early days of radio, they figured out that noise from engines to the contacts, the points in an engine, would make this really interesting buzzing pulse sound. It would pulse just like this, right? So what they decided to do was add something called the noise blanker, which temporarily shuts down the receiver for just a small enough of a second for you don't even notice it. I will go ahead and show you how useful that is for fighting that right there. It's gone. That is a lifesaver. If we didn't have a noise blinker, I would lose my mind. So obviously the automatic noise limiter, noise blinker work. You have a couple weird functions here that I've never seen. You have a slide tone function. And let's go ahead and turn the RF gain up and keep the volume low. The tone can go bassy. It can go really high, which I happen to like more. You seem to get less of that roaring sound. Squelch, obviously, you know what squelch is. You know what volume is. And if you don't, how the hell are you listening to this video? Let's see, what else can I show you here? Oh yes, let's keep this down so I can show you some of the channel features. These are really interesting. So 0 and 1 to 9 will give you a single digit channel. So 0, 2, channel 2. And if you want, of course, to go to any other number, like say 21, you would obviously just put 21. And that would take you to that channel. Okay, big deal. That's not super interesting, right? Okay. What's the most interesting thing about this radio is that you can scan with it. You can have an auto scan. This is an auto scan. Let me take the squelch up so it will scan. This is an auto scan. It'll scan all 40 channels, depending on what mode you put it in. That means what sideband you're on, okay? Or, of course, if you're in AM. That's what they mean by mode. And talking about that, I can show you something too. So let's go to 38, which you can do this way as well with up-down buttons. You can go ahead and take the volume up here, and we can go to lower sideband and upper sideband with the mode function. Let's keep it on AM for now. This is an interesting button, the Bccc. This sets the channel, or not the channel, this sets the scan function to check for a busy channel or a clear channel. So if you wanted to scan for a clear channel, which I guess would have been useful around the time this was made, maybe, then you could use this and it would scan for a channel that was clear instead of one that was actively being used. Yeah. Interesting feature, not really useful now. So let's just keep it on busy. You can write to memory, which is super cool. Because let's say I wanted to scan 2 different modes. I wanted to scan channel 15 in AM, and I wanted to scan channel 38 in lower sideband at the same time. Well, I've already set that up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the squelch all the way up here so I can show you what I'm talking about. We'll hit memory scan. It's scanning channel 115 in AM and then 38 in lower sideband. And you have 5 different channels you can set from memory here. I think that's really cool because you can sit there and scan in multiple different modes and just walk away from the radio. And whenever skip starts rolling in, whenever the gray line happens, whenever the sun starts going down and you have that gray band, you really start getting a lot of contacts. So, and of course the D layer is dissolved, the F layer is really still active, you get a lot of bounce. So I would leave this scanning around midday, and till it starts getting a little bit dark, and then just see, where I start hearing people coming in, and just start yelling for a contact, see how far I get with it. And of course, this is a sideband radio, so legally you can put out 12 watts on sideband, which will get you a lot further than 4 watts. And even in 4 watts, I've talked 600 miles, and I'll never let you guys forget that one. So let's see if we can listen to someone. Let's stop scanning right here. So let's see, stop. We are on 15 and AM. Let's see if anyone's talking.
Yeah, I still got one of them antennas myself, and if you still hauling fish, you can stop up by the truck stop over and I'd give it to you if you wanted it.
Break for radio check 15.
Might take a while like you did that cord for your microphone, but you can have it there, Roger.
Let's not interrupt those guys. A lot of times, this is something that I thought about making a video on before. Some of these guys I know and I have talked to before, and I know they can actually hear me, but they're trying to keep a conversation going and not interrupt the conversation because I can't hear the other guy. So if I keep yelling break, it's just going to annoy the hell out of them. So I will refrain from yelling break all the time. So, but let's go down to channel 101 and check out the receive and transmit with my little walkie-talkie over here. Let's see here, got our squelch up. Let's take the RF gain down a bit. Radio. That didn't work at all. I think the battery is dying. Yep, my battery is starting to die.
Radio check 1 2 3. Radio check 1 2 3.
Sounds completely different with that tone there, too. And, of course, it transmits, which we will listen to here if I can put this somewhere. And it's not going to stay, so bear with me. Because I don't have a way of holding this camera in any other position. And this is going to be loud. Probably going to be a lot of feedback. Feedback. 1 2 3. Oh, I didn't have it turned up.
Probably a lot of feedback, 1 2 3.
Yep. The audio signal that's going out is clean. I've tested it at range, so up close it's gonna sound like crap, distorted a bit, but I've tested this out. Sounds fine, receives fine. No worries there. Gonna try to sell this. The only issue with this radio is the fact that someone has dropped it and smashed the side of it. Yeah. Now, the original mic that came with this was a realistic mic that looked completely different from the regular realistic mics you're used to seeing. Not that it was any interesting form. It was just a handheld mic, but I hadn't seen one just like it, and it did not work. So I'm guessing someone dropped it or saw that it was messed up, tried to transmit, tried to do something with it. It didn't work, so they thought, it's screwed, get rid of it. I just took an old dirty Sears mic and plugged it in there. Works fine. No problems, no worries. Really wish we could have got a radio check. Let's try again on that one here. Take RF.
Yeah, put a piece of copper, like 10 gauge, clear, without the plastic on it, copper, and make it about as long as the nail, and drop it all the way to the bottom, tighten your set screw, and then just trim the top of it as you're coming down to set your standing wave, and see if your set screw works its way loose. The thing's setting all the way down, so you ain't gonna hurt nothing. It ain't like it's gonna drop or nothing, but that's the way we always done them, and them nails is bad about rusting, and then you couldn't get...
Never mind, I don't think we're gonna get a word in edgewise. Hey, it's all good. Radio's still alive. Go ahead and jump on it and talk all you want. Johnny Jones takes no offense to it. Speaking of Johnny Jones, this is Johnny Jones. I'm here at home, and I'll see you later.